Hi, I'm Scott McGarvey. You're watching Stretty News TV.
Hi, it's Jonathan Shrager here today for Stretty News TV. Here today, joined by Anthony Million Dollar Crolla, Manchester boxing royalty here. How are we doing today, Anthony?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I would like to say, at the match last night. It was good to end the season on a little bit of a high, win at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
And looking forward, I think, like most United fans now, to sort of draw a line with, like, sort of forgetting about scratching last season and for a fresh start. Obviously, I know we've still got the one game left, but after that, like I say, get that out of the way and then look forward to a new season, fresh start.
Absolutely, and obviously, I was keen to chat to you because I know you're a big red and you've got a season ticket in K-Stand, I believe. So yeah, just really, I was keen to come and have a chat with you today, really. So, like you said, you were there last night and you're looking forward to next season. Yeah,
of course, like you say, it's been, I think, in gigs is after the fight, after the game when he gave his, he spoke and he sounded like you say he said, in the good times we'll come back, and I'm really confident that's what'll happen. Yeah. We'll see who the man is to take charge and lead that charge. I think very soon, obviously, strong rumours going about that it's going to be Van Gaal. But whoever it's going to be, like you say, I'm looking forward to it as a fan. Yeah. And see if any new what gets brought in the transfer window. And also last night, like you say, Wilson and whatnot. We saw the start. We could have saw the start of a superstar last night as well. Yeah,
absolutely. We were discussing off camera before, weren't we?
Yeah.
He's been highly touted. That
I'd say I'd always heard really good things about him, and it was good to see him in action last night. And not many people start their Old Trafford career like the Manchester United career, but is it like his debut at Old Trafford like that with a brace?
Yeah. No, it was very impressive. Very clinical finishes as well, weren't they?
Yeah, he was. He took them well. Took them both very well.
He did. Well, I suppose I was going to ask you a few questions and just about you, sort of how you started watching United. First of all, I mean, obviously you're a born and bred Mancunian.
Yeah.
So presumably United was something you inherited from your family.
It's a funny one. My dad's actually a blue.
Yeah, right.
But my nana, she's passed away now, but she was a crazy red, a mad red.
Right.
So I got it from her. But yeah, I was. I'm from a big red area as well in Moston, and so yeah, I suppose you could say it was sort of inherited. But for as long as I can remember. Yeah. For a bit, I wanted to. I've always been a big United fan. Eric Cantona was like, as when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's my hero. I idolized everything. Everything about him. I think he used to go to school with my collar up. I was getting told off off my for having my collar up in school.
Quality, and then obviously you mentioned your dad there. Did that ever cause any? Was he in some ways disappointed that you become a red?
No, not at all. It's just it's sort of friendly rivalry, isn't it? Like, see, my little brother, he's a season ticket holder as well. Right. So he's there, but it's just the family's pretty split down the middle, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So it's half and half, really.
Yeah.
As a Manchester family should be, really.
Yeah, I suppose it's all good. It makes for good fun on derby days.
Fantastic, yeah. And then obviously, you mentioned Eric there being your first football hero. Probably the same for me because we're about the same age.
Yeah, similar age, yeah.
And the king, I mean, he just, obviously you mentioned there with the collar up. I mean, when you look back at him now, even since then, even though we've had great footballers, we've never had characters at the club like the king, have we?
No, King Eric. He's. I remember meeting him as well at it was the Cliff back then. Yeah. Before the Carrington training ground, it was the Cliff, wasn't it?
It was the Cliff, in Salford, yeah.
I remember him signing a shirt, and I was like, wow, I treasured that shirt, rather than a picture and whatnot with the man himself. So no, I don't think, like say, we've had Cristiano Ronaldo, who's one of the best players we've ever had, and he's up there with the greats of all time, isn't he? But we've not had a character like Eric, I don't think.
No, I agree. And then kind of what? So you mentioned that you go with your brother to the games.
Something I go with my friend Sean. Right. I'll go with him, sit with him really. Yeah. Most time, yeah.
And is what's your earliest memory of supporting United, and when would be the first time you can remember going to Old Trafford?
I remember my first game. My dad's mate took me. Yeah. It was Manchester. When was it now? It was Manchester United versus Coventry. Right. And so we won 5-0, and remember Eric scored from the penalty spot that day.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. I'm sure he did.
I'm trying to remember that. It's
What
not
was
the
it,
game. It's not the game where.
5-0 was my first game. I remember Eric. I'm sure he scored from the spot.
I'm just trying to think. It's not the game where David Boost did his. You remember that commentary player that went in the area and did his leg?
Yeah, but
off
I
a corner.
can't think where it was at. I was young, like I say. I must have been six or something like that. 6 or 7. So we're talking, what, 20 years is that?
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, but I remember that. Obviously, I remember going. Also, remember being in Wembley. Going to Wembley. So when the Reds played Oldham Athletic and Sparky scored a late goal.
Yes.
And my nana was on about before, she idolised him. Mark Hughes, he was a favourite.
Yeah.
So yeah, now I know, like say, early memories being there, and I remember my first 20 odd games at Old Trafford. We was unbeaten, we never lost. Right. We had a few draws, but we had some, like say, it was like a good luck charm.
Right, yeah, quality. Now I remember that game well with Sparky. It was that last minute volley, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Come over his shoulder.
Over his shoulder.
And if any man on the pitch you wanted it to drop to, it was Mark Hughes, wasn't it?
Exactly. And we won the replay, didn't we?
We did, yeah. No, fantastic. All right then. I mean, obviously, since probably we've both been following the Reds, there's been a lot of kind of euphoric moments. You know, we've been very lucky that we've witnessed this dominant era. What would be the most kind of what would be the greatest memory you have of following United?
I think the treble, the treble winning team, and obviously the drama that come with that. There's that possibly, or I was only watching back that team the other day on I think it was on like Sky, like the greatest teams was on it, and that was some team, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's that, and also, like you say, other than that, the other Champions League against Chelsea.
Yeah.
The other Champions League against Chelsea was a great one, and also when Eric scored the winning goal against Liverpool in the FA Cup final late on.
Yeah.
He said there's been so many but if you had to pick one, it'd be the treble winning side.
Yeah. And is that, obviously, do you get to follow United to any away games as well?
I get to the odd away game, but obviously it's hard sometimes with training.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to more. I remember the last away game was Stoke in the League Cup.
Yeah.
I remember
Ashley Young. Was it
Ashley Young? Yeah, Ashley Young. The players went off actually for a few minutes. You remember it? The hailstone. It was like, we were so wet through, but it was a great night. It was great. It was great away support there.
Yeah.
From all the lads, and but that's like that was the last away game I got to, because obviously with training and sometimes it's hard.
Yeah.
Remember earlier on in the season, I was meant to go to Liverpool away. It was one of the early on in the season.
Yeah.
But so I was going, but I had to give him a ticket up just before my missus went into labour.
Right.
So yeah, I had to leave that one.
Right. No, that's fair enough. That's understandable.
A valid excuse, that.
It is. Yeah. What's the kind of? Have you been to any obscure grounds following the Reds? You know, like in in an FA Cup third round or something back in the day.
Do you know what? I'm not really, like, to tell the truth. I'd like to say hopefully we'll get a few European aways. It just depends how it fits. If we would have got through against Bayern, I would have went to Madrid away, because it would have felt nicely if I would have just boxed. Yeah. So it would have felt nicely for me to go to Madrid, but as they say, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. And is I was going to ask you then, I mean, obviously Joe mentioned in the post-fight presser that Wayne had tweeted you good luck before the fight. Obviously there was the whole Manchester derby thing going on as well. Do you have any contact with any of the players? Have you ever chatted to them at any length?
Not at any length really. I'm actually going to the end of season awards tomorrow night.
Right.
So hopefully I'll get a chance to chat to a few then.
Yeah.
I'd look forward to that.
Yeah.
But listen, they're the players who've idolised as well. Not played this team since a little kid, but some of those players, obviously your gigs and whatnot, like he's been around forever, hasn't he? So it'd be fun. But no, it'd be great if I could, like you say, to speak to a few of them. Yeah,
and is I know I was chatting to you before as well. Are you getting, as your profile rises within boxing, and obviously you attend all the home games? Are you finding that a lot of Reds that are into the boxing are approaching you and wanting to chat with you?
Yeah, more and more, and it's it's nice to see that support, and I really appreciate it. It's like you say, more. I've noticed it more and more, like over the past 12 months.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of more recognisable, and it means a lot to us. Like you say, a lot of Reds, or if you're on the tram,
Yeah.
Because that's how I get to the game.
Yeah.
Rather than driving up, you're on there and stuff. You see, it's great. Like I say, it's great that they get behind us, and there people say, tickets to come and watch you fight. It means a lot to us.
Do you find that, like, the football fans at the game, do they want to chat United with you, or do they want to chat boxing?
Bits of both. So I'm happy to speak about either.
Right, lovely. Right, I mean, obviously, we've discussed that before, in terms of next season and how you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But I was gonna ask you about actually when you were younger, because you would have been a sporty lad growing up, boxing and what have you. Did you also play football when you were growing up?
I did. From like being young, obviously, you play football, and I played like obviously for school teams. I also played for club teams. So when I was playing for club teams, and when I got to obviously 12, 13, the boxing started taking over.
Yeah.
More and more, although I started before then. But then I played football till I was about 15, just before. Well, no, last year really. And I played in the school team. So I wasn't bad, but obviously as it went on, I was playing with kids who was training a few times a week, whereas I was just turning up on a Saturday morning.
Right.
And playing. So that's when I knocked it on the head, because obviously the boxing, you want to be getting injured. You get more injuries playing football than you ever do boxing, believe it or not.
Yeah.
So that's when I had to sort of prioritise. But I'd love the odd kick around, but I don't really. The only kick around now I get is sort of the odd charity game and something like that.
Right. Okay.
Invite to one of them.
And do you still feel quite, handy on the field? Or
the boots need dusting off. I'm a bit rusty now, but I won't mind. I'd like to play more, to be honest, but
the risk of injury.
Yeah, the risk of injury. But like I say, so it's very rare I get to play.
Yeah.
But I'm not the promising player I once was.
I was going to ask you, I mean, obviously, like in football now, the exorbitant wages that footballers receive is well documented.
Yeah.
And like it sometimes can be the source of frustration to certain people. But, like boxers at the same level generally will earn a lot less. Even though obviously comparatively it's a lot more grueling sport.
Yeah.
Does that, as a boxer at the top level, do you look at it and does it annoy you, or do you just think, you know what, I love boxing and that's life?
Yeah, that's it. It is life, and that's exactly just a part of life. And certainly don't begrudge anyone, like you say, any footballer who earns that money. It's like you say, there'll be some people who don't know. They think boxers earn footballers' wages, and it's like not a fraction.
Yeah.
Not very few, very very few. Listen, I think. If you looked at figures, it's probably it's less than 5%.
Yeah.
Boxers who actually make enough money to retire on,
right,
during the career. But to like you say, football, like you say, it's been that way for a while now, and that's just maybe that's just the time you get people complaining, but that's just part of life.
Yeah. It's
just part of life. So no, you can't hold grudges over stuff like that. No way.
No, I agree.
And listen, what people don't realise. Footballers, alright, they train hard and they play, and people say, oh yeah, they play 90 minutes a week or whatever, twice a week.
Yeah.
But they don't realise their personal life, how much it gets invaded by, paparazzi and stuff like that, and just people.
Yeah.
It's very tough for them. It's very tough for them like that. So I think people, when they say, oh, I'd love that money, they don't realise the life that goes with it. I can only imagine. Do you know what I mean? I don't. I don't know. I could never imagine what it's like, but just what you try to. It's got to be tough for those guys.
And then sort of like leading on from that, just from what you've said there, do you think, because obviously as a boxer with a high profile, you'll get recognised, but not to the extent of of a Premiership footballer.
Like I say, because like say football, sort of the nation's, that's the leading sport.
Yeah.
So
is it kind of like a nice level of recognition that you have, whereby people will come up to you, but they won't hassle you too much? Yeah,
that's it. I appreciate everyone who comes up to us. I'd never say that the hassling is, like I say, everyone who comes up to us. I appreciate them taking the time out to say that.
Yeah.
They watch us and stuff, but I like say I don't know. I could only say I can't. I've never been in their shoes, like the footballers, the top players and stuff. So imagine what they have to go through to even comment on that, really.
Yeah. And then sort of carrying on from this theme, like football and boxing, in a way they go hand in hand. I mean, you know, you get a lot of football fans that also follow boxing, vice versa, and obviously a lot of
working man sport as well. I think that's something to do with it.
Yeah, definitely that's true. And you know, in so many ways, there's so many examples you can give of how boxing and football have an affinity in some ways. But I was going to ask you then, do you think that there is that kind of like affinity between the sports? Between boxing and football, like I say, with the fans that follow both sports, the fighters and footballers follow both sports
a little bit, yeah. Well, like you say, I think both, like you say, you're saying there, working class people who go and watch those, who watch those sports. So it's a little bit often, like I say, the atmosphere you get from the football is similar to the atmosphere you can get from the boxing. Yeah. So it's, I think that's where it sort of goes hand in hand like that. And there's a lot of footballers like this. I think as much as everyone. As much as everyone likes to watch a good game, everyone likes to see a good fight as well. Do you know what I mean? So it maybe comes down to that as well.
True. And then, like we said before, you know, that Joe mentioned at the post-fight press conference how Wayne had tweeted you, and obviously, as you know, probably be watching it on the box, and he'll be going to fight. Yeah, he was at Froch Groves, I think.
Yeah, he's a big boxing fan.
And apparently he did box when he was younger as well. So it's kind of like.
I bet he can actually do a bit as well. I bet he'd make a good fighter. He's a big boxing fan. What I've heard, I know. Some of the lads who was trained with here, the Smith brothers, they're good friends with Wayne. They know Wayne personally, and they say I can do it. You know what I mean? He could do a bit. He could make a good fighter.
Right, and have they actually seen him in a gym doing a bit of on the pads or a bit of sparring or something?
An advert once where it involved some kind of boxing and stuff. But yeah,
right.
So obviously Wayne comes from I know he's a family member of his. I know his little brother. He boxed as a schoolboy, but I don't know if it's his uncle. He runs an amateur club in Liverpool. Right. So obviously he's from a boxing background.
Yeah. And I think Keno as well, from what I heard when he was back in court, when he was a youngster, he did a bit of boxing
as well. Yeah, you could see that.
As you can imagine, yeah, that would be Wayne and Keno would have been a good dust up. But yeah, I mean, moving on to just quickly about the Manchester boxing rivalry and how Matchroom really promoted that when it came to your fight with John.
Yeah.
Did you think that was a bit of a marketing masterstroke in a way to really tap into that?
It was clever, wasn't it? It was clever. I mean, I know some people would say well, it was obvious, but I mean, it was clever and the marketing team done a fantastic job of it. Yeah.
And did you really feel that, obviously, like you said in the build up to the fight week when I had a chat with you, you said that rivalry and how they tapped into it had really captured the imagination of the city.
Going back to that, I mean, I know I was lucky enough to go on Old Trafford, and John went on at Etihad as well. So it's their teams who we both supported from being little kids, and when I was there, I knew I was going to go on just for an interview pre-match. Yeah. I just got down there and I stood on the pitch and I thought, I'm stood on the pitch here, and it dawned on me. And I sort of, and I thought, wow, so it sounds a bit sort of cheesy and whatnot, but I thought not many people get to stand on like Old Trafford like before the game, and it was before the derby as well. Yeah. So no, it was great. Like I say, we both really benefited from putting the football side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously in the gym, you've got a range of football supporters. Obviously the Smith brothers are a well-renowned quartet of Liverpool fans there. Has it been, obviously you probably don't want to rub it in too much, but have they been a bit gutted the past few days since it looks like they've squandered the league?
I have wanted to rub it in too much, yeah, you're right. No, I really have. There's videos getting sent, there was vines getting sent, all the pictures that was doing the rounds got sent to them. Paul was actually there. I had to drive home after it, so...
Oh, at the Crystal Palace game?
Yeah, after the Palace game, which would have been a killer, but no, I can't lie, it was... after the season we've had and them been beating us twice, I took a bit of the line. But listen, it's not over yet, hopefully they won't have the last laugh.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't have the last laugh, but... it's just, listen, it's all friendly.
Yeah.
It's all friendly, like you say, banter and whatnot. We've got the Smiths, the Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
One of the other lads, Marcus, he's a City fan.
Yeah.
So it's just there's a good mix. There's a good mix.
And like you said there, you were sending the vines back and forth. So it's all taken in good humour.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so far, like I say, it's a great rivalry we have.
Yeah.
But it's like you say, there was flying about on Tuesday night.
Right.
Tuesday night, I couldn't believe it. I actually turned the game off at 3-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
Honestly, couldn't believe it when I started getting pitched and I thought.
Did you put it over to the snooker by any chance?
I didn't. I don't even know what I put on. I put on something manly like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or something like that.
Right.
Or Made in Chelsea, something along those lines.
Right. Yeah, no, I think I did the same, switched over to the snooker, but I was going to say then, so would it have been like, for example, the Luis Suarez image that you sent him or something?
Oh, I never get fed up of seeing it. Oh, the Tony Pulis laughing at them at the end. Oh, you know, there's so many, all of them outside the ground, we're going to win the league.
Yeah, like you say, we've got to be thankful.
It'd come the other way, but it's us, so it's all like you say, it's just a bit of friendly banter.
Of course it will. We've got to be thankful for small mercies this year, haven't you? Like you say, take delight in the little things. But I was going to say then, obviously as well, just going back to that actually very quickly, as Mancunians, growing up, yourself and I will know about like the intense rivalries with Liverpool and City.
Yeah.
Obviously this year we've been faced with a dilemma as the season's progressed that it could be either or, and it's one of those, isn't it, where it's very difficult to say you actually want City to win the league. It's a difficult conundrum, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's like it's bad when you sort of, bad as it sounds, you sort of cheering City's goals in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's they've got a big game tonight, haven't they? Is it Villa?
Yeah.
Won't seal the league, but it'd take a big sort of leap towards it. Yeah. But I'm sure after as soon as next weekend's over, the rivalry will start all over again.
Absolutely, yeah. My missus is a blue, unfortunately, so she'll be there tonight.
There you go, yeah.
She's there tonight. I was going to mention Quiggy. Obviously, Quiggy's a Bury fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
A very proud Bury fan.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's actually near where I live. It's my local side.
Yeah.
And they've always had an affiliation with United in some ways, obviously through the Nevilles.
Yeah.
Our reserves used to play at Gig Lane.
Yeah.
And I think we loaned quite a few of our youth players out to Bury as well. But Eddie confirmed after the fight, it was actually before, it was when you were getting changed up and what have you, coming into the post-match
press,
that it's likely that Gig Lane will, as Scott said, become Quig Lane for the night. Yeah. Obviously, that would be an epic night for Manchester boxing. Is it a card that you'd love to feature on? Yeah,
definitely. Scott's one of my good friends, and to box on his card, it's like you say, it's brilliant. Train alongside him.
Yeah.
He's great to train alongside. So there's the drive and determination that lad's got.
Yeah.
He's second to none. So it's great to train alongside him and. To box on his card, like you say, I've done it a few times in the past and it's always worked out well, so no, certainly.
Lovely. And I reckon obviously there'd be a lot of Reds that would attend that night, obviously with Bury and United having that affiliation.
Having that link, sort of, the affiliation, no, certainly, and like you say, the more that are getting behind us, like I say, I've noticed like the last few fights how more and more are getting behind us.
Yeah.
Which is something very grateful of, and like I say, Bury's not a million miles away, and like I say, it'll help with the affiliation.
Yeah.
Well, I'd look forward to it.
Fantastic. Right, just a couple more now, Auntie. Appreciate your time.
No worries.
Actually, that will prepared one here. I was going to ask Joe about Eubank Ben at Old Trafford in '93, but I reckon both you and I were probably too young to be at that. I remember watching it on the box.
I do remember it roughly, but I wasn't there because I was only a nipper. Yeah.
Well, no, that's it then. Lovely. I really appreciate you. Really do appreciate your time, Anthony.
No worries.
Up the Reds, obviously, for next season.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Definitely, Red Army and whatnot. It's big season next season. We're going to turn it around. I'm really confident we will do.
Yeah, I share your optimism, mate. I really think we will as well.
I believe we will. Listen, it's we've been spoiled by success, haven't we? But we're obviously disappointed just because we're a club of winners, and that next season it'll change around. I'm really confident of that. Listen, it was always going to be a tough sort of ask and a bit of a rebuilding process going on, but that'll start next season. It started now, but I mean next season, like I say, fresh start.
Yeah, actually, while you mentioned that, just a quick one. what of the players that you've seen either in the Premiership or on the continent? You know, you mentioned before about transfers. Just a couple of names that you'd be excited to see come into Old Trafford this year to help this rebuilding process.
Yeah,
is there anyone you've got your eye on?
I'll be honest, there is no one sort of in. Let's say first of all, get the manager.
Yeah.
And I think if we get Van Gaal, we get someone of a big name like that. I think that helps attract.
Yeah.
The big players, but I mean, I don't. It's one of them. Being realistic, we've not got Champions League football this year.
Yeah. That's
hard to attract the world's best players what play in the Champions League. That's no secret.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see what comes. What comes with it. It's listen, there's dozens and dozens of players you can name. Yeah. But there's not one in particular. Like you say, hopefully, like say the new manager, he'll go out there and he'll spend well, which I'm sure he will.
Fantastic. And if Wayne happens to be watching, shall we say, get down here for a bit of sparring?
Pre-season when he's getting fit again, it'd be great to have him in the gym with the lads.
Fantastic, right. And obviously, thanks for your time today, Anthony.
Great speaking to you.
I know, and I know you were on, you were on with Bill Rice, weren't you, on BBC
Radio Manchester, yeah.
I think he's going to be keen to get you on Red Wednesday as well, discussing United next year.
That'd be great, look forward to it.
And I also bet we'll see you on MUTV at some point,
MUTV at some point. No, I'd love to, like say, anything associated with United. I'm there.
Watch more from Stretty News TV.
But I just wondered if there's any amusing anecdotes from.
There is one that is actually I can repeat.
Is it one that you've told before?